Would you believe these are made with just UV resin, mica powder, and bubbles? That's right, bubbles. Who doesn't love blowing bubbles anyway? It's a lot of fun, and you don't have to be a kid. For this project, I'm going to make 4 glasses. These are, I think these might be either 10 ounce or 12 ounce glasses. They're a little bit smaller than what I normally use. And I've gone ahead and cleaned them. And then in one of my silicone cups, I am putting in about 1/8 of a teaspoon of silver white Sesso mica powder. And I have a link in the description to everything I used except for the wine glasses. And then I'm putting in the cup about 10 milliliters of Light Wish UV resin, and then in the other cup I went ahead and put in about 10 milliliters of the Light Wish UV resin. And in that second cup I'm putting in Sesso mica powder in this beautiful shade of aqua. It is gorgeous. It has some blue undertones in it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm putting in a little bit more of that one because that is my primary color. So probably a 1/4 teaspoon of that one. You want to, anytime you're adding any kind of colorant into your resin, whether it's UV resin or regular resin, just mix it really, really well so that you incorporate the mica powder in there fully so you don't have any little dry pockets of mica powder. And I just broke my stick there. So that stick is done. It is going in the trash. And then just stir really well. When you're working with any kind of resin, please be careful with your exposure. Wear gloves, wear PPE. I have tons of ventilation in my craft room. I have my window open, my door open, and my fan going, and I'm gloved up. So for this project, I'm applying the UV resin with my just a cheap paintbrush that I probably will just throw away because it's been falling apart. But I am just applying it pretty liberally, pretty generously with the paintbrush. And you can see how shimmery this mica powder is. There's undertones of blue, it's kind of pearly. It's really, really pretty. So I'm being very generous with it. Dabbing it on there. And this may look strange, but I'm going to take the same paintbrush and just sort of scoop it up and then blend the two colors together. Sort of like an ombre, but not really an ombre. I just didn't want a hard line between the two colors, so it blends really well. Don't want it to be like a solid line where the color is separated. And now here is the best part with the bubbles. So I'm going to stop talking and just listen. How much fun is that? So I'm just taking the bubbles and putting it all around the glass, and then taking my UV resin lamp, which you'll need a UV resin lamp if you're going to be working with this type of resin. And I'm letting the lamp go through a full 60-second cure on this and just curing all around the glass as I turn the glass. Once this is done curing under the lamp, I do end up taking all 4 wine glasses outside just to finish curing in the nice Florida sunshine today, and they will finish curing in the sun. So you can cure UV resin in the sun. It takes a little bit longer, but I leave it out there, a couple of hours, and works out just fine. So then just do the same with the rest of your glasses, however many you have. UV resin, bubbles, lamp. All right, I need to mix up a little bit more. This one's kind of getting green. So I'm gonna save that. Oh gosh. Well, that was interesting. Let's get a little bit more white in there. So I have 4 more glasses, and I think I'm going to do them all aqua and white. I'm so excited. This is turning out so good. Stick is broken. I sat these out in the sunshine to cure in the sun, which, you know, the sun is UV rays, and UV resin is cured by UV rays, which is the sun. So I did set these outside for a couple of hours so that they could finish curing and get nice and hard. And then I'm just cleaning up the edges, just cleaning up any of the rough edges, like the little splinters. And this is a sanding block that, bless its heart, it's just, the UV resin splinters is just chewing this block up. You can see the little pieces just flying off of it. So I'm sure there's probably a better way. Somebody recommended using a Dremel with a sanding wheel, but I don't know if I have enough confidence to do that, to use that. I think maybe I'm, you know, just not steady enough with my hand to do that. But, you know, sandpaper or sanding block does work really well. This sanding block's probably a little bit old, and I'm just wanting to smooth out the edges anyway. What I'm going to do is take my Light Wish UV resin and just straight from the bottle, and I think I'm going to put a small bead, if I can get a small bead. If I can get it to come out of the bottle light enough, and then just cure it in sections. I'm going to leave the light on long enough just to firm up that resin. Yeah, so just enough to keep it from dripping, and I really want to leave that intact. So I'm just going to resin that whole piece. And what this is doing, I'm putting the second bead of, I'm putting this bead of UV resin down where the bubbles meet the glass, and this is just adding a second layer of protection, like it's sealing in those bubbles to the glass. Because otherwise, I think that maybe, because that resin, the bubble resin layer, the resin bubble layer is so thin on the glass, like right there at the rim, that it might lift up at some point while it's being washed, and I don't want an unhappy customer. So that is why I'm putting this on. And so you see I'm doing it in sections. And I'm curing it in sections, in short little bursts, instead of the full 60-second cure. And then by the time I'm all the way around the glass, it's pretty much cured, because each section gets its own, you know, extra time under the light. And now I'm going to set this one aside and go to the next one, and then they're all going to go outside in the sun to finish curing. This one's a little messy, isn't it? It's okay, let's start here. One of my subscribers did suggest putting a very thin layer of regular resin on top of the bubbles to make it more food safe. And I may try that on another project, but realistically, no resin is completely food safe. But drinking out of a wine glass made like this is incidental exposure really to the resin. Plus, I don't resin all the way to the top, so a customer's lips would never touch it. And I hesitate to put regular resin on top of all those pretty textured bubbles because I want that texture. I want that, you know, kind of that roughness. And these at my weekend art show were really, really popular. They sold immediately. All right, I'm gonna take these outside now. Nope, this is perfect. These turned out perfect. The sun is exactly what these needed. I am really, really happy with these. Gosh, these are so pretty. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make it a great day, friends. Bye-bye.